And welcome back to the action on race one of the TGN Racing Series at Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 250, part number 2 here as we resume action, racing side by side, 2 by 2 by 2 into turn 3 and 4. You see the 21 car, he's kind of, which lane do I pick here, I guess, as he's kind of running, seemed to be running the middle. Looks like he's going to pick the bottom. And it's, the 2 car jumps to the outside. Nick, haven't talked very much about him. He's going to go for the lead as he jumps up in front of the 86 of Ayrton Shelley, but the bottom has higher quality, more cars. Ooh, not anymore as the 33 jumps to the outside. Ooh, and he jumps back down to the bottom. So you see about 4 cars here not in that main draft, and then 2 or 3 back behind them, taking it very easy as we have 4 cars on the outside line coming down the back straightaway as they're zigzagging and jumping out of line for position as we go on board with the 86 Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry. So when the 57 gets wicked sideways as they make their way out of 3 and 4, he'll save it as we saw that on board of the 86 car, and we're going to stay on board with him for a moment as they make their way down into turn 1 and 2 here. And the 77 is on the apron. Big one. Can he save it? And no, he will not. The caution comes out. A few cars are involved. We'll take another look at it. There's the 57 getting super loose. Ayrton Shelley very lucky to miss Cody Cotrere and Nick on his outside as they make it 3 wide to make it through that. He saves it. No harm, no foul. Now let's look at what happens as they go into 1. The 77 of Caden Henry jumps to the bottom, tries to pass the number 21 of Conrad Sampson as he makes the move on the leader. He'll spin, he'll bring out the caution, and we'll skip ahead in the action. And we come back, we go green flag Conrad Sampson taking the green flag at the start finish line. We're about 60 laps through, getting close to 40 to go here at Daytona International Speedway for the Daytona 250 presented by G&G Fitness. You see the 12 cars making their way through turns 1 and 2, about 3 or 4 of them back a little ways away from the lead pack. We'll go on board with the Paradise Vapors 33 car and Brad Slaughter Jr. And he'll jump down to the bottom. He's looking to make his way back through the field. He hasn't been this far back for most of the day, spending most of his time slicing and dicing his way to the lead. You can tell he's having to check up a little bit as that bottom lane just can't seem to get moving. Not as much momentum down there. A little bit of tire smoke there, maybe a little bit of contact up in front of him. Seems like the 46 has just a little bit of right front fender damage. Not sure where that came from. Not sure if he fixed it any. We'll see what happens as we continue our race down into turn 3 and 4. As they race through the high banks, a little bit of lagging here with that 33 car as we're on board with him off of turn number 4, and we'll hop out into the far chase camera, and it looks like everybody's going single file for the most part. And you can also see a little bit of rear end damage there on the 33 cars. He takes a little peek, nobody going with him, drops back in line. Looks like he's going to move to the outside, and looks like the 21 might follow him. No, he's going to shuffle him out of line. And there is no room for him to come back in. Let's see if the 86 car picks him up. As they're single file, they shuffled the 33 out of lane. He is the strongest one today. And no, the 86 is going to shuffle him out as well. It might be orchestrated. These drivers know that Brad Slaughter Jr. is one of the faster ones, but as a few cars move to the high line, and we got a wreck up front. The 2 car of Nick Opek is spinning hard, and several cars trying to avoid. Looks like, when the 54 gets turned, and the 2 is hard into the inside wall. Heavy damage, as we'll take another look at that one. And it looks like the 77 just turns the 2. Very small damage, if any, for those front few cars. We'll take a look from Caden's view here as they work their way into turn 1 and 2. As you ride on board, it looks like the 2 checks up. He gets into the 2. A little bit of lag there. He spins him out. And as that happens, we'll go back and we'll look from the 86's angle. And there's the spinning. Conrad Sampson barely misses him. He misses him. The rest of the field misses him. a few cars involved as we'll skip ahead in the action. As the pace car dives for pit road, the 46 of Morgan Gambio gives the green flag, a bad restart for the back half of the field. As we are working closer and closer to the conclusion of this race, and now we have the whole field here in one big pack coming down the back straightaway. What could happen? We haven't had a green flag pit stop in quite some time. We cannot make it to the checkered flag from here on field. As we go 3 wide in turn 3 and 4, the 9 car Conrad Sampson put in the middle in the 21, and there's still through, and he's going to try and squeeze his way in. Oh, and he puts the 88 on the apron sideways, but he saves it. No contact, and they make it through the corner. That looked like Conrad either didn't see him, misjudged it, or the spotter did not call that one. A very close miss there. And that backs up a few cars there in the back. The pack's still relatively strong, about 9 cars, as 2 or 3 of them are shuffled back. We're still 3 wide. Cody Cotrera dropping back on the outside 3 wide as they settle it and move their way into turn 3 and 4. And they're up front 2 by 2 by 2. And Aaron Reed up there in the top 5 for the first time today in that Exalta Tax Slayer Chevrolet. The 83 looking strong here towards the end. Now this is most of these drivers' plans as they are zigzagging, swapping lanes, jumping all over the place here in the late going here with almost 32 laps to go. And the 46 of Morgan Gambio is leading the field as they head off into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like, Aaron looks like he's getting pretty close up there towards the wall. Brad Slaughter really, and we are wrecking behind. The caution is out. We'll take a look at that as it looks like the 9 just gets tight, gets up into the wall, overcorrects it hard into the outside as we'll take a look from behind his car. And that's just what happened. And did the 88 get into that inside wall? That'll be interesting to look at here. And here's a view from his angle. And the 9 just does get tight. Tires after a while do get tight. He slides to miss it and head on towards the wall. And what a fantastic job by Logan McDaniels in that 88 Nationwide Insurance Camaro. He saves the day as we skip ahead in the action back to the green flag. And I am having reports that the 21 of Conrad Sampson did in fact have contact under the pit stop, spinning the 54 of Trevor Tong, and he was put to the end of the line by race officials as we are back to green here at Daytona International Speedway. And a big checkup, the 21 hard checkup. He's going to lose the draft from this. As they make their way down the back straightaway, everybody seems to be checked up a little bit. And we got 3 and 4 wide. The pack jumbled together. Looks like the 33 of Brad Slaughter Jr. just driving through everybody. It looks like he called upon his inner Dale Earnhardt, and he just drives right through everybody. He doesn't lift. Everybody else is checking up 3 wide, 4 wide, and he pushes the 88 from last to third as they make their way through 3 and 4. And then he goes and splits the both of them. He goes last to first in a half a lap from the middle of the back straightaway to the lead and leads the lap. Amazing move by Brad Slaughter Jr. in that Paradise Vapors 33 Camaro as they're still 3 wide here in turn 1 and 2. Now this is where can they make it? Not much practice running in a pack this tight. 3, sometimes 4 wide as they're still 3 wide. 3 by 3 by 3 here. Can they keep it together? Or will they have another big one that takes out a majority of this field? And Aaron Reed, he's on the apron. He's spinning. He is in the grass down the front straightaway in the tri-oval spinning. And we got contact up in front of him. 3 cars spinning, hard contact into the wall. Here's a replay. And it looks as if the 9 of Justin Smith tries to thread the needle 3 wide, clips the 88, contact with the 54, hard contact, nowhere for the 57 to go of Cody Cotrera being involved in this one. 5 drivers involved, several with no faster pairs left to be used. Hard contact for each one of those drivers. As we skip ahead in the action, we're back underway as the green flag is out here at Daytona International Speedway. And we have 25 laps to go. It is not enough to make it on fuel. There is not enough fuel left. They can only make it about 18 to 22 laps at the maximum as they make their way through the high banks in 3 and 4 down the back straightaway. I'm hearing reports that they actually can make it on fuel. This will be interesting. They have not made a green flag pit stop since the first run of 35 green flag laps. And now as we take a look from high above in the blimp camera, we see the pack sort of strung out. About 8 cars in the front, a few behind them, maybe a couple cars that had too much damage to stay up with the front of the field. As we watch from behind of the Interstate Batteries 86 car, as we see several drivers. Oh, and we have some blocking, and the 86 goes with Brad Slaughter, and he's gonna push him to the front. And this is a very interesting situation. You're coming to the end of this race. You have less than 20 laps to go. Anything can happen in 20 laps. A caution that takes everybody. Ooh, and they thread the needle through a lapper. We'll go on board and gyro camera here. And very quick reactions by the 86 of Ayrton Shelley. Another angle here for you. Very quick reactions, saving the field, definitely saving his race. And they'll race their way down the back straightaway. That was a very close one. Nowhere for the damaged machine of Trevor Tongs to go involved in that last caution. Not much he can do. As a big block from the 33 just threads the needle, Brad Slaughter does, as he goes back to the outside and blocks the outside line. He's really calling upon his inner Dale to take care of this Daytona racing. Now after that last wreck, we have 8 cars in the lead pack with an opportunity to win this race. We're coming down to the wire. Only 10 laps remaining here in the Daytona 250, TGN's first iRacing race. Very interesting. 5 cautions so far. A big one on lap 1. 3 spins by single car spins by themselves, bringing out cautions. A big one, 5 cars involved in the last one. 8 cars with no damage. A couple that don't have damage but just aren't up in that lead draft and don't really have a chance at this without some help from a caution. As they are Brad Slaughter Jr. out front by a car length, but 2 by 2 by 2 behind him. And it just doesn't seem like the 57 can suck up to that bottom lane. It seems like, oh, and the 86 threads the needle 3 wide, but the 21 leaves him out to dry. He'll clear the bottom. He'll drop low. Conrad Sampson to the outside. He'll stay high. As we take a look from the blimp, the 8 of these drivers really not checking up much at all. One thing these drivers do have to their disposal is peak drafting. I'm sure there are plenty other words for it, but staying part way out of the draft to cool down that motor as we make our way towards the end of this race. We only have 8 laps of racing left to go here. It is getting high intensity, not much lifting. Got to find a way to keep the engine cool enough to make it to the finish. In a few laps, if it starts blinking, you run it till she blows, but you can't get it messed up yet. As we take a look, you can see a little bit of damage on that 46 that we've been talking about all race. Not really sure where it came from. This is from Conrad Sampson's view. We'll hop on his in car as they make their way through the high banks in turn 3 and 4. The top lane just does not seem to be as strong as the bottom. They can get side by side with the leader. Are they full tilt? Do they have the quality of cars? They are 2 by 2 by 2 behind the leader. And now they are 2 by 2 by 2 with the leader. Will they be able to make it work? It just hasn't worked all day, that outside line. Ooh, and the 21 very close to the wall as it looks like. And the 86 will drop low. He will leave his partner in Conrad Sampson to take the lead down there on the bottom. And it's now 2x2 behind the front two with a third car at the end of the line coming off of turn number 4. Very interesting here at Daytona. And the 86 shuffled out. Brad Slaughter Jr. back to the bottom. The 86 didn't want to give up that outside line. That could be a big mistake for Ayrton Schilling. It could cost him a chance at this win here. As that time by, we come to 5 laps to go at Daytona. That outside lane making its way back up towards the front. They're getting side by side with the leaders. Blake Freeman jumps to the outside lane there. Looks like he wants to move towards the front. Caden Henry is in the middle, 3 wide. Now he clears and moves up to the outside as we're coming to 4 to go. And oh, the 21 car into the wall. Back across, he's hitting a couple drivers, and 3 of them are collected. They're spinning into the infield grass. The caution is out, and that is going to end this race. Here's a replay of the 21 car. He gets into the outside wall, spinning down into the 9, collecting Caden Henry and Blake Freeman in the 77 and the 8. And it just is very hard contact. Once he hits that wall, he's almost just along for the ride, as the 77 and the 8 are just innocent bystanders in this caution. And the field is frozen. We'll go across the finishing order with you as we take a look at the replay one more time. Heavy damage to all 3 of these drivers involved, and just not the ending any of them were looking forward to. And that's going to do it. The field is frozen. Brad Slaughter Jr. will win this race. He will take the checkered flag coming across this time. Morgan Gambio, the 46, in second. Ayrton Shelley in that Interstate Batteries number 86 Toyota Camry. Justin Smith in the 9 car will bring it home in 5th, as I'm trying to get a better look at who is running in 5th, and I can't exactly give it to you just yet. That's Blake Freeman in the 8. And that is it for us. Please join us next week from Phoenix International.